Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is said to have many different connections to the prequels and the originals, and even borrowing elements from Star Wars Legends, also known as the Expanded Universe. That's all set and ready to be used as a way to benefit the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren in this story by J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is going to be the culmination of the Skywalker saga. Essentially, a little bit of everything will be mixed into this movie, as Kelly Marie Tran said over at D23 a couple of weeks ago. And on top of all this, we do know that this film is set out to be the darkest of all the films in the Skywalker saga. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that both Rey, Poe, Finn, and Chewbacca are on board of the Millennium Falcon, where it's described that Rey is said to be walking around the Falcon and reading the ancient Jedi texts. It's said that Rey begins to go through a bag full of relics that Rey took from Luke's hut before leaving Octu, where she eventually comes across a wooden box that appears to be cracked and chipped with a lock on its side that has a key strap to the left side. Rey is said to slowly open the box, where she comes across a green kyber crystal. It's explained that this green kyber crystal once belonged to Jedi Master Qui Gon Jinn and was extracted by Jinn's saber hilt from Obi-Wan Kenobi that was eventually handed down to Luke Skywalker, where Luke protected it on Octu. It said that eventually and additionally, Rey also comes across a small book that is said to hold many notes written by Qui Gon Jinn that reveal some revelations related to the wills and the netherworld of the Force. It's explained that at one point in time, Qui-Gon was studying the ways of the wills well before his death, and implies he was trying to master the ability to transfer his consciousness to the netherworld well before he ever died, which he eventually did. It's said to be a brief yet powerful scene where Rey comes across these relics on board of the Falcon. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, in case you guys did not know, Rey uses the Falcon in order to store many of Luke Skywalker's relics that she bagged up on Octu and brought onto the Falcon and left that world. And also brought on the Jedi texts, the sacred Jedi texts that are actually taken from the tree library that she saved. And she's actually reading them in this movie, and we'll be learning about the ancient ways of the Jedi as well. I want to go over Qui-Gon Jinn's green kyber crystal. Very interesting stuff now. Now, we do know that Episode 9 is going to have many different Jedi, Sith, and Force lore that's going to be connected to not just the prequels and the originals, but also Star Wars Legends. And by far, this is the best connection to the prequel trilogy era. A lot of fans out there, including myself, love Qui-Gon Jinn. A lot of people love Liam Neeson and his portrayal of the character. Given that he was only in one Star Wars movie, he really is by far one of the best Jedi Masters there is, without a doubt. So, the other piece that I do want to go over here is that it's said that this was extracted by Jinn's lightsaber hilt by Obi-Wan Kenobi and handed it down to Luke Skywalker after, of course, Kenobi died many years ago at that point in time. So Luke Skywalker, sometime after Episode 6, went back to Tatooine and gathered his belongings and went over to Kenobi's hut and discovered these relics. Now, what I like about this as well is that Rey also comes across a small book that is said to contain many different notes written by Qui-Gon Jinn about the wills and the netherworld of the Force, which is said to imply that he was studying through the ways of the wills well before Qui-Gon Jinn actually died by the hands of Darth Maul. What's so exciting about that is that you can really see that they're trying to really make the wills known godlike beings to the new and casual fans around the world. They are really trying to make the wills very well known, and without a doubt, this most likely was a scene that was directed and or written by George Lucas, since he is very well involved with this movie when it came to a lot of the rewrites and the adjustments to the script, as well as the reshoots that are happening as we speak right now. So George Lucas is indeed heavily involved with this movie, and you can really see where all the prequel trilogy connections are coming from, and why there are a lot of references to not just the prequels and the originals, but also to Star Wars Legends. So, on top of all of this is all said to be a moment where Rey is actually studying through the ways of the Jedi. She's going through Luke Skywalker's relics. She comes across this box, and inside of that box is Qui Gon's green kyber crystal and a very small book, almost like a little notepad, if you will, that's actually going to have a lot of notes related to the wills themselves. Now, it almost reminds me of Darth Plagueis and his manuscript where he wrote many of his Force abilities in there, but in this scenario you have Qui Gon Jinn's little book here full of notes related to the Netherworld and the wills and the knowledge that he actually obtained from the wills well before he even died during the events of the Phantom Menace. So you can really see that JJ is really trying to expand Star Wars lore, and he's trying to really expand the Star Wars universe. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.